continue on now, we're going to fill in our eye. So just to go back in, we'll grab these loops. Unlike the mouth, we're not going to close it off. We're just going to make enough edges for the lid and the waterline of the eye. So I'm going to hold shift and pull back, so just on the Y, just straight back, just to give that lip of the eye. So I'm going to grab the scale as well. I'm going to scale it in just a little bit so that it actually comes up on an angle. And I'm going to continue and shape this up a little bit before continuing on. So this is obviously the tear duct, so we'll bring this right up. So because we bring back some reference of the eye, you can see that the tear duct comes in and sits up flush against the eye here. So just the eyeball is still round, so we've got to keep that round shape. So that so just bringing these down just fractionally and bringing them in again towards the center a little bit more as well. Same with the corner of the eye. I'm going to bring that in just slightly. More so with the bottom lid. You get to see more of the waterline on the bottom lid than you do on the top lid. So we can go back into front, we can see what this is looking like. Okay, so then grabbing these edges again. We'll extrude back again, just a little bit. And this time we're going to scale up. So it makes it roll. So we can keep it close because it'll keep this edge tight. And we can reshape this as well. Okay, so we can bring back our eyes just by bringing up our layer palette again and just unhiding our eyes so we can see how that's working. So yep, that's looking pretty good. So we bring back our symmetry. Yep. So there we go. That's the eyes done. We can continue on to filling out our head. I think before we do though, we'll go and fill in the eyelid a little bit more. So I'll turn this off again so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll grab this edge here. And we'll connect them. So we don't have an endgong here, I'm going to weld this down into the edge closest to it. And then I'm going to round out the the top of the eyelid. So this gives us a little bit more geometry to play with when we start to animate our eye. It also rounds out the lid a little bit more. And defines the crease, helps define the crease better as well. So I can pull these down a little bit now. Just lift this up a little bit. We don't obviously want it to be as pronounced as it falls to the edge of the eye. Bring that in just a little bit. And bring this forward. So you can see where the eyelid's going to shape. So if I bring that back and have a look, you can see the eyelid is a little bit more well defined, and the crease as well. We also have now enough geometry in there for her to blink. So now we can finish off the rest of our head. Bring back the edges. We go back here, edge. Grab the edges along here. And we'll extrude twice. Weld these in here. So don't worry about the ear at the moment. We'll create that separately and attach it separately, just like we did with the hand. And we can shape this to the back of the skull. Okay, so we'll go to the back of our model. This one's easier to do and shaded. And start to pull these in towards the back of the neck. We'll extrude that once more, I think. Go to the left. Okay, so then just grabbing that edge and we'll extrude down and pull that back a little bit. We'll do that twice. Start the back of the neck. We can shape this. I'm just going to pull that back a little bit. So we've got to remember there's a muscle that goes from the back of the ear down into the neck, which gives us that big this muscle here that I'm talking about. So it goes from the back of the ear, which is, that's where your ear hole is. It goes from the back of the ear down into your collarbone, and that's that big muscle that you can see sometimes on the neck. It's actually covered by this one, but it protrudes quite a bit. So just kind of remembering that's there and following the angle a little bit. It doesn't need to be exact, obviously, because we're not going to cut it in as much. And then again, looking at the front and making sure our neck is the same size as our concept, our image plane. Might be easier in X-ray mode, so just Alt X on the keyboard. We can now start to, I'll extrude once, twice, 3 times, and we'll bring these vertices to the center so we can start to round out our neck. So we'll bring these ones obviously back to fit the image plane that we've got. And we can continue to round off the shape in the orthographic view. Okay, we're going to start to fill in the hole here. I'm going to turn on the shader just to make it easier so I don't have to figure out where things are going. So we grab this edge and this one, and I'm going to use bridge. And again with this. might actually, I'm going to undo that, and I'll add an edge here. Just to round this out a little bit more. And so we have a little bit extra geometry to work with around the jaw area, so when we join them. So I'm just rounding out the shape again, making sure everything is about even. Check it in the front, make sure that we aren't going off our silhouette, changing our silhouette too much. Yep, that looks pretty good. Same in the left viewport. I might pull these back a little bit. Okay, and I'll continue. So selecting those edges and hitting bridge. There we go. I'll extrude these edges, and then I'm going to just target weld them down to this bit here. And I'm going to remove this edge only because we'll be adding more geometry here, so just to make it a little bit easier on myself. And I'll extrude here again, and using target weld to close the gap. Okay, so now we've got no holes. Brilliant. But we've got a lot of end gongs that we need to get rid of. And we're just going to angle these in a little bit more towards the chin here. Still keeping that curve. That's a bit better. Now this might be easier to see. Going to deselect those polygons, and we'll grab our cut tool so we can add the jawline, I guess would be the best way to describe it. So we're going to start from here at the base of the ear and where the jaw is. We're going to cut in an edge around here. Just hitting G to get rid of the grid so I can see what I'm doing. I'm turning back on shading mode again as well so I can see a little bit better. I'm going to bring this around to under the chin. Make this the left viewport again. Then I'm going to grab this edge here because we dealt with that triangle there. It's causing a bad edge flow. So we're going to collapse that so we can keep everything nice and four-sided. And I'll bring this closer to the jaw. So this is defining the jawline. Now on a more realistic character, this wouldn't be as pronounced. It'd just be a soft roll, depending on, you know, the character and as well. But for this one, it's going to be quite pronounced because of the style that we're using. So just following the chin shape and bringing this in. Follow the curve around from the face. In the left viewport. Now, if I hit Control X so you can see the image plane behind, you can see that the neck goes straight up into the head. Now, this isn't the case naturally. There is a gentle fall off from your chin down to your neck, so there is a curve. We're going to put that in because this looks strange. It looks like a cylinder stuck into a sphere, and that it won't work well when we animate either. So we want a nice gentle roll. It'll also make life easier on ourselves when we start to texture our character. If we pull and unwrap the UVs as it is, we're going to have a lot of stretching here because of the sharp angle change. So the soft roll will help eliminate some of that. It'll also help make the transition look much more natural. So we're not going to exaggerate it because this is obviously part of the style, but we are going to put it in there. So just pull these down ever so slightly to round out the connection. You can see what I mean by googling just head profile shots, and you can see the gentle fall off from chin down into neck. It doesn't go straight up. There is a nice curve down in there. So everybody's got it. See how the jawline comes up here? The connection doesn't follow the jawline, it actually comes more straight and down into the neck, so there's a nice connection between head and neck. Since we still do want to keep that profile because it's part of the style, but we still need to make this more natural. So you can see at times we do go off the image plane a little bit, and sometimes we have to make adjustments to better animate and to better create a model that looks something that is familiar and that we are used to seeing. And okay, so going back under the chin here, we're going to create a new edge here. Weld that top fur back to this one, so just to get rid of that polygon. Then I'm going to, I think, we are going to, I think, change the direction of this edge. So I'm going to remove that one actually, and I'm going to grab my vertices, these two here, and connect them. So I just want to change that edge flow to better follow the chin and the neck. That's better. And we still have all quads, so that's great. So I'm just bringing these forward a little bit more, so closer to the chin, just to shape out this area a little bit more to follow the edge of the jawline. Okay, so I think our head is almost done, and see how we're going. I'll bring back the concept and have a look and see if that matches. Now, normally I would rotate all around this, and I'll probably do it. I'm just going to pull this to the side so I can see it and my concept, and then I think we're almost done. So, yep. Still a little bit iffy about the eyes, so what we'll do now though, one more thing before we tweak anything else, we'll create an edge from here up into the eye area. We'll fix up this area in a minute so that we have the extra geometry needed to attach our ear. So we'll select those edges and hit connect. And I'm just having a look here to see what the best way is to join this. I'm going to pull this back and in a little bit to help show where the eye socket is, so bring that out. So these ones can go in. So just adjusting some of these edges to make room for this new edge, so that our ear has somewhere to sit, so it'll sit back here. Again, you can use constraint to edge if you like, to just adjust these. I think we'll just join it back up here. So hit connect, grab vertex and weld this. And you can adjust these edges. Not sure about that edge flow there. Just trying a different edge flow. That's better. Pull this back. Now I can see from this shadow here, we've got a very sharp shadow. That means there's two vertices here, so that hasn't welded when it cut, so just select the two and hit weld so you can see that shadow disappears. Just fixing up that edge that I just created. And bring that up a little. See, the highlight is following the eye socket. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's our head done. Now let's create our ear.